Hey, all right, everybody, how's it going? Now, this is another video on the Fiat Doblo and my quest to fit factory fit fog lights, not aftermarket malarkey, actual factory fit fog lights. And it's a bit more difficult than I first thought. So let's have a look what I did. Now, let me just explain why I went down the route of trying to fit factory fit fog lights. It's hard to say, that is. Factory fit fog lights, okay? So why did I go down this route? Well, if you follow me over that way, over there somewhere, I'll show you why. Because it was one purchase that I made that made this decision happen. So I made a purchase and then I went down the route of trying to fit factory fit fog lights. And it's not just as simple as putting in the fog lights in and the wiring's there and everything's tickety-boo. There's a little bit more involved and a little bit more money to spend. Now, you're all going to say, why bother? The thing is with me, right, if I start something, I got to finish it. If I start, my mind says, you've got to come to completion of the mission you're on, if you know what I mean. So let's go this way. Let's go this way a little bit and I'll show you why it all started. Now, here's a bumper. If you've watched my other videos, this bumper was cracked up there. I don't know if you can see it, but there. And they sent me a brand new one. They didn't want this old one back. But anyway, this is one of the cheapest bumpers I could find for the Fiat Doblo brand new. And it actually came with fog light holes and the fog light mounts, if you know what I mean. You know, the bit that it mounts onto. This is what started it all off. I thought, well, I'll fill the holes with fog lights and see if I can try and wire them up. So let's go to the front of the car and have a look at the car. Right, if we go past this car here, round the corner, I've actually got the van parked on my garden at the moment because there's not enough room for 3 cars. So here's the car here. And if we go and look at the front, down here, right down there, if I put the camera down there we go, fog light. And another fog light. Right, so there we go. We got fog lights on the front of the car. Right, okay, so if you're following along, I've bought a bumper with fog light holes and fog mounts, and I thought, ooh, I'll fill them with fog lights. So I went on Auto Dock, and I managed to pick up 2 brand new fog lights. I'll insert a picture of the brand new fog lights I bought. And then you've got to buy 2 fog light bulbs, and I'll put a picture of the ones I put in, which was I can't remember the name of them now. They're LED. They're a pretty good brand of LED fog light bulbs. Now, another reason why I wanted to put fog light bulbs in and LED bulbs is because you're not allowed to put LED bulbs in normal headlights because you can dazzle people coming towards you, and it's not legal, and it won't pass an MOT, so it's not legal. So another way out of it, if I'm going down a dark road or something like that, you can pop the fog lights on, like a country lane or something. If you put LED bulbs in your fog lights, you'll brighten up the road ahead of you and you'll still be in the legal realms of the law, if you know what I mean. So I put them on and I did have the bumper off. I had the bumper off the vehicle, so I knew that the fog light wiring, part of the fog light wiring was there, but it wasn't all there. You've got to buy a loom. So I looked on eBay for a second-hand loom for a Fiat Doblo, but I couldn't find one anywhere. But I knew that the wiring was a black wire, and I think it was a green and white wire. So I just typed in Fiat fog loom, and what popped up was a Fiat 500 fog loom. I looked at the connectors, and it looked exactly the same. All the connectors were the same, so I ordered the Fiat fog light wiring loom, and it does go across and fit the Fiat Doblo wiring loom. So first of all, you've got to have a bumper with fog light holes. Then you've got to buy the fog lights. Then you've got to buy the fog light bulbs. And then you've got to buy the wiring loom that connects to the loom on your Fiat Doblo. Now, another thing is you've got to check. Let me just go to the fuse box in the car a second. Right, okay, so let's go and look at the van now. I moved it over by here on the driveway. Now, the wiring plug for the fog light loom is behind the bumper by here. It's right behind the bumper, but then let me come back a bit so I can show you. is behind the bumper there. When you take the bumper off, that plug, the plug will be there as next to the horn. So you'll see the plug there, but you have got to buy a extra wiring loom. This is if you haven't got fog lights on your Fiat Doblo. Now, I did look into the fuse box there, and I think it's this relay and one of the fuses here. I think it's the 15 amp fuse. That might be there on all models because obviously the Fiat Doblo has got a rear fog light as well. So that might be on all models. So I think you can retrofit these fog lights on, well, it's a factory fit. The way I've done it is factory fit. And I'll show you now how I did it factory. So let's recap. I've put fog lights in, the ones that, you know, the original type. I've put a wiring loom in. I've checked all the fuses are there. Now, you think you'd go into the car. Oh, and another thing you've got to do, let me go into the car here, like so. Now, you're all going to be wondering, why did I bother to do this? Another thing you've got to do is you've got to replace this switch thing here. Now, you can go on everything you need. The switches and the fog lights are on auto dock. Now, I don't know if you can see on the camera, that switch there is slightly different colour to all these ones. So you've got to take all this panel off here. I had it off already because I was putting this Android head unit in. So if you followed along so far, this little strip here is like a switch thing. If you take this surround off here and the radio out, you can get to this. You've got to add a fog light switch, and I've done that factory as well. Now the reason why it's a different colour is because I bought you can buy a whole new switch gear, but when I fitted it and you pressed the hazard warning light, it was jamming slightly, so it wasn't quite as good fit as the original one. So what I did, if you take the original one apart, all the switches are behind you. They just got blanking plates. So I took the switch cover off the new one and put it on the old one. So there we go. Now, your next step is you've got to buy something like this. You've got to buy, for a Fiat Doblo, my version, 1.6 diesel, you've got to buy this here, which is called an OBD Link SX, right? Now, I didn't just buy this because for the fog lights, this is an OBD system that works on a lot of Fiat and Alpha vehicles. And I bought the yellow, this bit is extra here, it's called the yellow connector. Now, I have got, let me turn the camera around. I have got a £350 diagnostic equipment thing, but that will not code the body control module on the Fiat Doblo. So it won't code stuff. Even though it's an expensive one, I think you've got to step up to the £500 or £600 versions to code stuff. I believe that's right. So the cheapest way for me to do it was to buy these two things here. I'll try and put everything in the description. And this is really handy to have if you own a Fiat, or any Fiat really. So I'll try and put all the links in the description. And then the next thing you need, which is the last thing you need, is AlphaOBD App, which is £31 on Android. I don't know how much it is on Apple, but it's £31. And that turns your phone into a diagnostic system. So let's plug that thing in by here, and I'll show you what I mean. Right, okay, so you should be able to see now. I've got the AlphaOBD app up and running. The radio's going to come on. Let me turn that off in a second when it comes on because it's going to make a noise. So you can see in front of me. Let me just, it says by here, select the control unit. Let me just go back to the start a minute and show you. So you can, let me go back right to the start. You can pick your vehicle. And mine is a FL215 Type 263. Let me turn this radio off.
You to the elevated section. Further east again, Essex, Coggle.
Right, radio's off. And then you've got a choice of all these things here. ABS, airbag, hands-free, body computer, climate control, blah, blah, blah. So if I go on to body computer there, like so. And then this is where the yellow adapter comes in. So we'll click the yellow adapter, and then the red bit there says connect. So we'll connect. It does say enter code card, but you don't need that. If you use this, blah, 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 blah. So we'll press OK. And then it should connect in a second. Connect requested to body. And then down to the bottom there, can you see it down to the bottom? There's a picture of a key. And if I go like that there, you can do that there and then check. And then go across there. And you can, this is where you can change things. So this is the last option. So if I click start there now, oh, I gotta do this here. So here we go, look. This is all the stuff. I can change fog light command, rear fog lights. Now, I think I went into fog light command, and if you click that there like this, where's it gone there? Fog light command. And if I click start here, I think that's what I did. Let me just go back and check what I did. Fog light, rear fog lights, fog light command. There's loads of things on here. Look, daylight, stop, start, relay, stop. Now, some of the things on here won't be on here, but is that you can go through and change things. Left direction indicators, heated rear window control. Now, you can add, I don't know if the wiring is at the back of the van, I'm not quite sure. So let's have a look. I went on to fog lights, and I press start like that, I think it was. The lights turn on for a few seconds. Now, I think it's because I've already added them. I haven't got the option to add them because I've already added them, if you know what I mean. But that's what I did. Now, I think I didn't show you the actual fog lights working. So there's the switch there. So if I press it, like so, I'll try and get the both of them in at the same time. If I press it like that, don't know if you can see there. It's not flashing in real life. That's just the flashing lights are because of the camera. So let me go up there like that. There we go. The fog light is on. Let me turn it off. Fog light off. Fog light on. Fog light off. Fog light on. And just as a little bit of a side note, just add this little bit here. If people have been following along on the Fiat Doblo videos, I don't know if you can see down by there. It's got a sticker on the side of the cam cover there, look. And I'll try and insert a picture, and everything's ticked. And it says, I'm sure it says 2023. It says the 11th of the 2023, November 2023. And the belt has been ticked, the pulleys have been ticked, and a new water pump has been ticked as well. So that's a bit of a win, isn't it? Unless somebody's put it on there as a bit of a con. But it looks like it's a genuine thing. So there we go. The timing belt has been done, and the water pump. Okay then, so there you go. That's what you've got to do if you want to get the fog lights working on a Fiat Doblo. There's a lot of hoops to jump through. You can't just stick the lights in. I mean, you could wire fog lights up the old-fashioned way by adding a relay and blah, 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 and an extra switch. But I like to do things factory, and that's what I did. So that's the way you do it. You have got to buy quite a few things. If I'd bought a bumper in the beginning without any fog light holes and it was blanked off, I wouldn't have gone down this route. But I just, because I had the bumper in the beginning with the fog light holes, that's the route I went down. So I hope this helps people if they're thinking, if they really want fog lights on their vehicle, that's what you've got to do. First of all, you've got to get a bumper that takes fog lights because the mounting is behind. I think the ones that are blanked off don't have the mounting for the fog lights. So you need a bumper with the fog light holes. You could buy a second-hand bumper, I suppose, off eBay with the fog lights in them already. You need a wiring loom to connect to the original loom of the Fiat Doblo. You need to check your fuses, but I think they're going to be there, the fuses and relays. You've got to buy a switch panel, so it has the front fog light switch, and then you've got to get the diagnostic stuff at AlphaOBD, and you've got to get a way of connecting it. Now you can buy, when you go and look up AlphaOBD, there are other options. You can have Bluetooth dongles as well that connect to your phone, but they're about £80, and I paid about £70 for the lead version. But I do like a lead. I'm old school, and sometimes Bluetooth can be a pain in the bum. If you just plug a lead in, it works every single time. The beauty of, I suppose, Bluetooth is you can take the phone out to the front of your car and do stuff. That's the beauty of Bluetooth. Anyway, that's how you factory fit fog lights to a Fiat Doblo. If you did like this video, don't forget to give it a like, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Ahoy!